Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, January 4th, 2024. Welcome to the new year.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I am back in my classroom, obviously. If you watched my latest video, I will put a link up in the cards if you haven't watched it. I had a whirlwind tour. I was glad to be back with my students this week. I have had a challenging year. I've also had a very rewarding year in that I really have formed a strong bond with this group of students, and I really love and miss them so much when I'm not around them every day.
You gonna be okay while we're at work? Mommy and Daddy gotta go to work.
It has been good to be back the last couple of days. We've just been doing a lot of rules and procedures, reviewing what we know to get back in the swing of things. We have been making some goals for ourselves individually, but also as a class. And I'm super excited because today we did an amazing thing. And I've been noticing throughout the year that we've had some issues, and some years are more like this than others, with kids taking things from other kids, taking things that I have left out, meant for them to take one, and someone will take a whole bunch of them and they'll be gone suddenly. And usually when you're noticing that, there is like a mindset of scarcity or lack in kids' lives. And so I was super excited to introduce the idea of the care closet to my class today. In our morning meeting, we talked about it, and I showed them Mrs. Aaronsburg's Instagram reels about her care closet and what could go in one. And then we discussed why we would have a care closet, how we would use it appropriately, wants versus needs, that kind of thing. And then the students came up with their own list of items that they would like to have in our care closet. I already have a good spot for it that I've had in mind like the whole year, but I had a lot of other things that I was just trying to put in place earlier this year, and now that has like smoothed out a little bit, and I feel like we have our routine going and our children are getting their needs met academically and behaviorally, I can kind of branch out a little bit and think about these physical needs that some of them might be experiencing, especially in the wintertime. Around here, we are a fishing and agricultural community primarily, and there is definitely a slowdown in work available in the wintertime. And so families across the community struggle in the wintertime especially, and they have to make their paychecks from summer when they get so much work and so much income. They have to make that last all winter long, so until the weather warms up. So it's really a good thing for our particular community, but it's also just a nice thing to do with your students because it's a type of service project. This is yours? Okay. So it says complete the comparison. That means showing how the numbers are either bigger or smaller.
Yeah, bigger or smaller.
Okay, so it says what number could you use to fill in the blank? So it says 1002 is less than something, and this number is also less than 1200. So you need to put a number that's somewhere in between 1002 and 1200. Bigger than 1002 and less than 1200. Hello. So this one says what?
Complete
that says 1002 is less than a number, and that number is less than 1200. So you need a number that's in the middle in between them anywhere. It can be any numbers that are bigger than 1002, but not as big as 1200. 1001 is smaller than 1000. Good morning. Something bigger than 1002.
1016.
All right, what's next? Read the problem, Marlon.
Or the volume of
Digits. All right, if you are at table 3, please show me how to line up the right way. Remember, I'm looking for people to see what we're going to do when we come back.
You only got that? You made that?
To the flag, table 1, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
No, my name's Isabella. Isabella. Okay, whatever. Isabella.
All right, let's do attendance real quick.
Are we doing floor lava? Please.
We will, if you guys, the first one that we do, if you guys do what you're supposed to, then we'll do floors lava for the second one.
Oh, yeah. Are we doing stations today?
We're going to do stations tomorrow. Today we're doing whole group because it's our first time back with reading.
What about me? You're not here.
I can see you, you're sitting right there. 2 is ready to go. All right, so I want you to be more in the front of the classroom, not towards the back and the sides. Okay, so we're going to fill up the front first, and then we will move back there. And the last place that we're going to fill is the sides. I don't want that many people on the sides. Okay, so this one you have to make one that's bigger than 1002 and less than 1200.
I can just go in
But I knew that the group of students that I had this year could really benefit from additional items. And so my students came up with a list. They are going to share that information with people that they know, see if they can arrange for any donations. And I'm really excited to see what our students bring in, and I can't wait to see how it develops. So I've put the word out. I'm going to be letting some of our local community organizations know about it. I know there are some faith-based organizations that are nearby that have expressed an interest in getting involved in helping with any needs. So I'll make sure that they are aware of it. And I think too, like it's fun to give to something when you know that the kids are going to be running it, the kids are going to be like stocking it and getting donations and learning about taking care of others. It's just a great way to pay it forward and help our kids become civic minded, so that when they grow up and they are the adults in the community, they're also thinking about how they can help others. So, and I think too, like kids that do struggle, being able to have an opportunity to work in something like this and help other people helps them to feel a little less like they're lacking, because they're now doing something for someone else and they might not have been able to do that before. So super excited about that. That's like one of my New Year's goals in my classroom, is to help my kids think about other people outside of themselves, and this is the way that we're gonna do it. So we also did a bulletin board, and I haven't put it up yet, but the kids made these shoes. And the idea is stepping into a bright 2024, and they designed their shoe, and then they wrote what they're looking forward to doing in 2024. And I'm gonna put this up with some like metallic background paper in the hallway and have all their shoes up. I think it's gonna be super cute. So we talked about that. They looked over a bunch of their work that I had been saving in stacks, and they picked out their 3 favorite things. And then we put these big Post-it notes. Let me see, do I still have? Oh, here they are. I got this kind of Post-it note, so it has lines and it's larger. They wrote why they picked that particular item. If they were proud of it, or if it's something that's still confusing them. I told them to also, they could pick something that they still need help with and, write about that experience. And they put these on their 3 favorite items. And then that's going to go in their portfolio along with some things that I have chosen. And when we have our winter and spring conferences, whichever is first for that student, then I'll share that information with the parent. And if the student is there, which I'm really hoping to get my students there for at least some of the conferences, then we'll have the students explain it to their parents, which is a really good experience for them. So that's what we've been doing to start off the new year in our classroom. We also had some discussions about what we might want to move around in our classroom, and I let the kids talk to me about what they thought was working, what they thought needed changed, and if there was anything they wanted updated in our classroom. And then they worked in pairs or small groups to design the coziest learning environment that they could come up with for winter time for our classroom. So I'm going to look at their suggestions and see what is realistic. Honestly, I thought I was going to get all kinds of things, and I did get a little bit of that where it was not something we could really do. Like a couple of my kids said, we want VR headsets for when we're not busy. And I was like, I don't know who's paying for that. We do have some VR headsets in our media center, but I tried using them with the middle schoolers and we couldn't figure it out. So I don't know how realistic that one is. But a lot of the other things were simple, cheap, or free. And I'm going to just do as many of them as I can to make them feel invested in the classroom environment. So looking forward to those things. I am definitely reinvigorated after my time off. I really needed the break, and kind of my body forced me to take a break because I was sick for 3 weeks in December, on and off with something. And it was one of those things where I got one thing and then I didn't really totally get better because I was staying home and then going to work and staying home and then pushing myself to go to work way more than I probably should have. And I was pretty sick. And it extended it, and I was sick for 3 weeks. And then when we got on break, I wanted to get some things done around the house in the first week, and I was really having a hard time getting things done. For the first 3 or 4 days, I feel like I just took so many naps. I would do something and then I was wiped out, and I would just take a 2 or 3 hour nap. Then I would do something else and same thing again. So I wasn't as productive as I hoped to be at the beginning of my break, but I did really get to have downtime, enjoy time with family and friends, and fill my bucket. So when I came back, I was happy to be here, ready to do some work and dig in and really get some of the kids where they need to be in the next few months before we get into our big test prep season. So yeah, so it's been a good day today. My kids are doing really well with going over the rules and procedures and remembering what we need to do. And one of them asked today, are we going to do stations? And I was like, not till tomorrow, but I could tell that they were looking forward to that. So I was sitting here planning out what I'm doing. I have 4 main stations in my classroom, and then I work with a group of students, and then I'll flip-flop. And my stations are reading, writing, accelerated reader, which is a program that our school does. But you could have just drop everything in read time. And then a project station, which some people call it a star station. It's something that kind of like, I just use it as a place that I can put anything, and it can sometimes just be computer, like review and practice, like skill games that the kids like to do. But right now in social studies, we are learning about trade in the colonies, mercantilism, which was controlled by the British government, compared to free trade that they did between the colonists. And after we did a little bit of learning about that, I had my students think of some characters and create a comic strip with 10 sections to it at least about what they learned, showing it in kind of a story format. So they definitely had a little bit of trouble getting started with that concept because it was a little higher level in their thinking. They had to come up with a storyline where they could actually weave that information in, which is quite a lot of processing for a fourth grader to do. And some of them didn't even understand like the concept of creating a comic strip. So we worked on that today, and I feel like they all got going, some of them more than others, and they just need some extra time. So I'm putting that in my project station for this week. For AR, I noticed that when I was putting in grades that a lot of students are like doing books, but then they never finish and take the test. So I don't know if they're like switching their books. I have a feeling that because I'm busy working with another group, that they're like going and getting a book and then they're putting it back. And then the next time that they have AR, they're going and getting a different book. So they're not like completing the book to be able to take the AR test. So I'm going to be doing an accountability form that asks them to write down the book that they are working on, the level that it's at, and then each time they read, they put the date and they put like what pages they read and a little summary. So I'm going to add that to my AR station. And once I make that form, it's going to be nice because I just have to keep keep them run. So there's always a stash, and maybe like put like a little tub on the table that does that station that has them so that they can, fill them out as they go. So the writing station, typically we have writing in our fourth grade Amplify curriculum as part of our reading lesson. So what I'm going to do, and I've done this before and it works really well, is introduce the lesson. And when we get to the writing portion, I'm going to get them started. And then once they get to the working portion of that writing, then the people that were working in my teacher group are going to move to the writing station. And then we'll just rotate in that way. So the first time around, there won't be anybody at the writing station. Everybody else will be divided up among the other stations or at my table. And then as we move into the second round of stations, then I'll take my next group, and then my first group will feed into the writing station and stay there. So the reading station, we're working on poetry right now, and they're going to be doing some of their reading workbook pages about Langston Hughes poems, identifying figurative language, because that's our main topic of learning right now is expressive language, figurative versus literal, understanding similes and metaphors, things like that. So that's what we're up to in reading. In math, we're doing place value into the 100,000s and up into, I think tomorrow we go to actually 1 million. And we've been talking about trading, and also counting by hundreds, counting by tens, counting by thousands, and how we go up to the next number with each one of those so that they can understand better, how to exchange for tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, things like that. That's it. I've basically talked to you about what our lessons are looking like right now. I really like the way that I started back this week slowly, because after coming back from so much travel, I didn't have a lot of prep time. I knew that I wanted to lead the kids in some reflection. It's always good for the new year to do that. And I did have them write. They wrote a letter to the elves, and it was like a goodbye letter, but they told them their favorite memory of things that they did while they were here this year. And then they also had to tell them something that made them smile over break. So instead of asking them to write like about what they did necessarily, I had them write about something that makes them smile, because I saw that, and I can't remember who shared that with me. But there was another teacher influencer that discussed the fact that if you have students from varying economic backgrounds, like levels of economics, that instead of saying, you know, write about their favorite gift that they got for Christmas, or write about their favorite place that they went, or even like family situations, what your family did for Christmas, because they do different things, they celebrate differently, and some students may not have done much at all. It's better to just say something that made you smile over break, because then that includes everyone. So that was how I worded my writing prompt this time, and the kids really seemed to enjoy it, and I have to grade those tonight, so I'm looking forward to reading those. I did a little bit of assessing on the place value yesterday, so I have a few items that I need to kind of check in with and see how that's going to inform my planning for next week, because I'm working on that right now. So my goal is to get all of that done, because all my planning done and turned in early tomorrow, because I have some coursework that I'm still working on for one of my Liberty courses, and that I need to get a lot of that done this weekend, so that I won't have much to do. I really need to get everything turned in by the 10th of January, and if I can get it turned in by the 8th, that would be wonderful. So I'm going to be busy working on that this weekend, plus my daughter has a nesting party for her second baby. So I'm going to be doing a little traveling just to Virginia. So it's like 2 hours there and 2 hours back. But that's happening on Saturday. So that'll cut into my writing time a little. So I need to get all of this done and ready for next week, so that I will have plenty of time for the things that I need to do on the weekend. It's getting super cold in here. I don't think the heat is up very high, and my fingers are like freezing. I feel like I need a little mini heater in my room, which is kind of like not something I'm supposed to have, but I could really use one right now. You doing okay, Bobby? Lexi, are you all right? One thing that I haven't told you about yet is that we had a little scare while we were gone on our trip to Oklahoma and Texas. We had to leave Baxter with a new boarding place that he's not accustomed to, and he got super stressed out while he was there. He started having bad diarrhea. We've also recently taken him to the vet because he had like a white film on one part of his eye that I thought might be affecting his vision. I was concerned about it, and they didn't catch it in his his yearly checkup. So I took him in, and they thought that he might have an autoimmune disorder. And so when we found out that he was having issues while we were gone, it was really concerning, and we were so far away, and there was no real way for us to get back and do anything to help him. We were just sort of stuck with our current tickets, and we were really not wanting to cut any of our trip short, but also being really worried about him because he is our baby. So we are now back from the vets, and we have eye drops that we have to put in his eyes every day. He has possibly some underlying autoimmune disorder, which we have to do blood work for, but we're gonna have to wait until next month to get that done. So in the meantime, we're just treating his symptoms with these eye drops that are supposed to remove toxins from his system and hopefully reverse or stop the progression of the white film on his eyes. And he had antibiotics for the problems he was having with his digestive system. He seems to be doing a lot better, but it definitely was a scare for us. Good morning. It is Friday. Woohoo! We made it through, or at least we will have at the end of the day today. It's been a good first week back. feel really positive about it. And I just wanted to chime in here and in this video to say that last night I posted on our school page about the care closet, and I have had like 5 or 6 responses already, and people are sharing it out to the community. So super excited, can't wait to see where that goes, and I will update you more as we get more into the new year. But I hope that you've enjoyed this video, just seeing how I get myself back in the groove, the beginning of a new year at school. It's kind of like a reset for us every year, which is great. So let me know in the comments what you're doing to reset in your classroom as you come back in January. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate all your support, and I will see you the next time. Until then, don't forget to work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen. Bye-bye.
And my dear, we're still goodbye. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Good walking. Good girl. Good walking.